So,
is it possible with smartphone to have the outline on the phone and be videotaping somebody at the same time?
no, absolutely not.
Wouldn't think so.
Yeah, that would mean that you would have to swap over. You'd have to stop your video and check that you hadn't missed anything. In other words, you would need to say, give me a moment while I consult my outline, and then swap over, and then consult your outline, and then go back and pick up where you left off. And so what you would have is a series of movies instead of one movie.
And we could use their smartphone.
You could.
To, let's call up, I use both of them. Here's my outline anyway, but yeah. That's,
you can also use your iPod.
If I were someplace I could use my iPod. If I'm on a Wi-Fi, yeah, somewhere. Yes, definitely. Okay.
Now, could we now, without reading them, discuss some of these strategy points? Does anybody see a strategy point there that that jumps out at you that you'd like to discuss, talk about? Like I got the one about calling with another Cure team member from you, Barb, when we did that the other day.
I think it's very useful.
Barb, are you on mute? I think you might be on mute. Barb, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, and are you on mute? No, she is mute.
Do you have that? I don't think you have any sound coming through.
Are you saying something? There, what's that?
Okay.
What's that?
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think that I definitely got that one from you. I thought that was so good because one person can be managing the outline and checking that you haven't missed anything while you're talking.
Right.
That's what the teachers, when they taught the course, used to do.
Check each other.
Barb, I love how you're becoming a whole person. Do you know what I mean? I mean something by it.
Yeah.
You are a whole person.
I am whole.
But you're realizing it more.
So if I have another half, I'll be a whole and a half.
No, the whole is there. The whole is there if you don't get
Thank you.
sideswiped.
Shit.
Or, go into some...
For now, it's good, yes, thank you. Have an early victory celebration, just kidding.
No celebrations. It's just normal. It's normal,
Whatever. Yeah, I'm ready for
Good.
the next level.
Are there any of these other strategy points that anybody wants to talk about? Because I can move on into...
Well, putting you on YouTube, obviously only if I'm out in public, I'll do it with my...
That's a good. That's why it's good to have a friend, because then the other person could film it.
Yeah, that's true. Right. And obviously, get on Skype. Like, get people on Skype when I'm talking to them on the phone.
And also that one about if the person's too slow, I've done that where I've determined, okay, they're too slow, and I just kind of started sort of freestyling it and giving them advice, and suddenly they pick it up. So then I would go back into the outline.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that it can shake them loose.
Yeah, that's good.
If you just what sort of advice would you give them? Let's
I was talking to that guy yesterday, and wasn't getting a signal, and then I decided, just like that girl that I had a session with that ended up signing up that you spoke to, Greg. At the end, she said something about, and I think this is the way people talk about immunics, at least around here, about me. And she said, well, if we hold the space long enough, something happened. Like if we just kind of kept doing it, and suddenly she just got a signal. And then same with this guy. I just kind of kept shuffling and filling in the blanks and giving a little discussion or talk, and then let's try it again. And
well, you know, that's an interesting thing you're saying, because if you give a little discussion, and it really doesn't have to be about immunity, like don't talk about immunity, but
yeah, it can be about yourself or
about him or you.
Yeah.
At some point, you can say, test that and see if he gets
Right.
So that's okay. That's actually another strategy point that I'm going to add to this. Greg, could you just write a comment under the outline? On the, you know, go down to the bottom of the outline. There's a place to write comments. Facebook allows that, and I'll just copy it, and it can be like if the person's stuck, just converse about anything and ask them to test something.
Yeah, see what comes up.
Person stuck with his testing. If a person is stuck with his testing. Barb, that, you know, you're like a groundbreaking, ice-breaking machine.
I just won't stop. Sometimes I think I should stop, but then I think, no, I can make this work. It's funny. It's fun. Thank you. Oh, wait. Whatever that. I hope I'm doing it all for the right reasons, or just once I get with someone like this guy yesterday, I must have spent, you know, I spent quite a bit of time with him, but I can tell he's gonna, you know, go somewhere.
So we just covered the first.
Yep. Now I have something to cover, which is that I looked in there, and of course Angel and Gulu are, you know, they're on Twitter, and I realized that there they are, and there's no tweets at all from either of them. They have 0 tweets, right, Ross?
Yes. Yeah, Guru tweeted something.
Yeah, he did.
Something to me like, hi, Rosella, just that.
Yeah, it was before I actually added him to the A list, so nobody ever saw it but you. Now, in this outline, it says to have the person read around 30 tweets. Barb, when Angel, is that his name, Angel or Angel?
Angel.
When Angel, by the way, that woman that signed up the other day, you know, Greg, did you ever pay Barb for that?
Hold on. I'll be right there. No, I did not.
But you got her money, right? It went through?
Greg is coming. So's Christmas. Barb, at the top of your Facebook wall, I made a note for current donation splits for you.
Yes, no.
And I put, yeah.
Sorry, I just had to put off that call. That was someone I had to talk to. I told him to call him back in a minute. No, Barb, I could pay you. I don't want to do it every other day. It'd be great, and maybe you need the money. I've been doing it once a month, and I asked you to every
That's fine.
month.
Just so it came through and everything. That's
Which
fine.
you've never done. So
Oh.
I have to keep that in mind. I don't have a program.
How do you pay Barb? By PayPal?
Pardon me?
Yeah, he sends me PayPal.
I see. And why is it that is it really a lot of work to just like turn it around and send it to her when you get it?
Everything's work.
I see.
So is it a lot of work? No, on one time, especially in case you obviously if you need money and you pay what $24.
Yeah, if it's a small thing like that, I think it's probably better to wait till the end of the month.
I mean, obviously, but $90 or $144 is.
Yeah, then you should send it to her right away. But you know what, Barb? You're on 80% for this person because she's your person.
Right.
And it's 80% of $24 is $20 a month.
Good.
And, you know, if she lets that run for 5 years, you
And
got...
some people do.
Yeah. You got, like what you got there is per year, 12 months is 240, you got $240 a year.
I gotta get like 10 or 20 of those people right now for.
10 would be 2,400 a year.
If I got 10 new ones a month or something.
If you had 40 of them a year, you'd have a $10,000 a year income.
That'd be good. Just be good.
Yeah.
That'd make a difference. That'd make a big difference. Yeah, I could just go for getting new regular members per month.
Now, let me ask you, did she read 30 tweets?
I don't think so. But Angel last year started reading some tweets.
Now, wait, before you go on, this is something that you sit there with her while she does this.
Okay, good. I'll do that with her. That's something we could do together.
And with everybody. Ross, did Gulu read 30 tweets?
No, because he has to subscribe to Twitter. And that's when we stopped. And I told him to watch the movie and then get in touch with me again.
So the next time you talk with him, you start with him reading more like 100 tweets and replying to 15 people.
Okay.
And with your friend Barb, with your friends, when you see them again, they read 30 and reply to 5.
Okay.
They must reply to people. It's not enough for them. You have to ask them, is anybody there inspiring you? You need to read the tweets and look and say, well, what about this person who wrote this? What do you get from that?
Right.
Oh, say that to her.
Right. I do that. People don't always jump when I say it, but
now here's the thing. See, what you've been doing is, here's this person who has a $24 a month subscription, and you get, whatever it is you get, and so you've been calling them every so often to keep them going. Now, if you get her interacting with everybody on Twitter, you never have to call her again, and you've got the same thing. As long as she doesn't develop a dislike for you and decide somebody else is her person, and she starts doing a thing with them, and then that will probably transfer over to them. But maybe not. Maybe, I'm wondering, maybe you should just get the thing, and if she likes somebody else. I think with Alejandra, we transferred what Alejandra was giving to Ross. Did we, or what happened with that, Greg? You would know, I guess.
We have not. Do you want that?
I think maybe what it could be is because I kind of referred her to Ross. I thought she needed sessions, and I really didn't have the time, or I didn't think I was the.
Yeah. So Barb still gets her share on Alejandra, right?
She has been, yeah.
I think we should leave it like that, because Alejandra was her person. She brought her in, and if her subscription expires and then she has to re-register, then whoever she re-registers with will get it. But otherwise, Barb should get it. So that's what I think.
So when people are looking at the Twitter feed, I scroll down for a long time? I never even.
Yeah. It scrolls down like forever, as far as I can see.
Okay.
But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it expires. It depends on the day and your connection and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it doesn't go down that far. And I've seen it where it was like 3 tweets. That was
that's what I was wondering. That's why I was wondering, how can they read 40 tweets? Because I've never really been able to, unless it was buffering or something.
Well, with mine, I just scrolled down this morning with my machine, with my handheld. It certainly went down 100 tweets.
Oh, that's enough. I have to keep somebody busy.
Yeah, it definitely went down 100 tweets.
Well, mine, it says load more. Online, I'm not doing it on my phone. But online, it keeps saying load more, load more.
You all right now?
On the feed, on the main page, on the home page.
Okay, let's move on. And then it says here about what she cured a few minutes ago. So another thing, Ross, that you want to do with Gulu is ask him if he cured anything and see if he can test it, or see if he.
Yeah, but
See if he got a good feel. See if he got. See if he got a good feel. See if he got a good feeling.
He didn't.
Okay. You know, you may want to just move on and wait, because you got another person who got signals. So do this whole thing with him. You know, let's forget about Gulu for a while. Okay. And Barb's people are getting signals. So what you want to do is, like, you know, they cured something in part 1, Barb. Have them tweet about it for part 2. Okay?
Good. Yeah.
And then you ask them to sign up for the web college.
Yeah.
See, at that point, have you ever heard of the principle of consistency?
Yeah,
You know.
Is that like repetition?
No, it's not. The principle of consistency says that people want to behave consistently. So if you tell a person something, then they're not doing anything. But if the person cured something, tweeted about it, he just told everybody in the Twitter feed that he cured it. Now you ask him to join the web college. Consistent behavior is to say, okay, yeah, this is my thing. I'm doing this. You know,
right.
Of course, I'm fine with it being a cult. Of course I'll join.
Yeah, like continuity. That sounds good.
People will do anything to behave consistently. Ross, do you understand this now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now I want to play something for you. No, wait a minute. You know, maybe I shouldn't. I need to hear if you have anything else to say about anything we've talked about so far before I start playing stuff.
No.
Anybody have anything they want to say? Or anything come to your mind? Anything popping into your brain?
Crawl.
These little pieces.
I'm being consistent by saying no.
Right. Truly.
No.
Does the person automatically get a password sent to them the minute they pay?
They automatically get a password, and I write them with their personal password because that temporary password will change. They can use it right away, but it's a generic password just basically for the month or for a period of time. So right away I wrote to her.
Oh, good. Did she respond?
Because we were on the phone, I knew that she was coming along. Otherwise, I mean, I check every so often. I check PayPal all the time. Mm-hmm. It's good that you let me know if someone signs up. Otherwise, you know, and if it just comes down the pike, I say, oh, someone came along and signed up. And I would not think of you. I might ask you, but it's better that you tell me.
Just want to make sure that knows what she wants. Follow up today.
I use her email address that she has in PayPal. Sometimes that is not someone's current address because they've not kept it up. And occasionally they don't go to the page. They just don't read the page that it takes them to. When they sign up, they go to a page that's a completion page. It gives them their password. So they can get in immediately, day or night. Whether they're in China, Timbuktu, Istanbul, Paw Paw, Michigan, or even Climax, Michigan.
Or East Oshkosh.
East Oshkosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Wisconsin.
I'm from East Oshkosh.
Oh my gosh.
That's what's so funny.
Oshkosh by gosh. Remember the
Uh-huh.
Oshkosh what do you call it? Jean overalls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Winnebago, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So Barb, how about keeping a list of people who are your people? Just somewhere have a list.
Okay.
And it just helps you also to know what you got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to know always which people have signed up, so, but.
You know, I have ways of dealing with this, and I had a program, a church program that someone was trying to sell me, and they gave me a free trial for it, where you can put things in like when they donated and who talked to them and so forth. It's a whole lot of work. Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I'm gonna refer her. I'm gonna refer her to some of you guys as friends too.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's something else we could do. I was thinking about that yesterday. Like that guy Angel, it would be good for him to be friends with Alejandra and other people. You know, that should be something I do automatically.
It's good when you tell me last names too, because I have at least a few other angels when you talked about Angel.
Okay.
That's Angel Williams or somebody?
No, it's Ortiz. He didn't. Oh yeah,
Ortiz. So.
Well, on Facebook he calls himself Williams.
Oh right, yeah. So I talked to him a number of times, and he was starting to test, and that's when he was very slow. Mm-hmm. Now, could you actually hear what he was saying when he talked to you?
No, but we figured it out.
Oh, you did. Because, first of all, he did not want to talk very loud because he doesn't want people to know he has herpes.
He's only 19.
Yeah, I know.
And his connection is bad on the phone.
His phone was, he switched to a different computer. We got on Skype. He's on Skype. We talked on Skype. Mm-hmm. I spoke to him a number of times. Just so you know, I've sort of let him go off and do his own thing, and I've not. It's good that you talk to him because maybe he'll sign up with you. But if he doesn't, give him things to do, and just know.
I mean, he's just one of many. Like he's sort of like a strata of people, and I should have more of people like him. I just didn't follow up on a lot of the other guys that that have had that a couple conversations with you, and they called me or were embarrassed or that kind of person.
Okay, let's be very clear about this whole Twitter interacting thing. First of all, forget about Facebook. The players talk on Twitter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get the guy on Facebook, it means nothing. I have like probably 50 of them on Facebook. It means absolutely.
I didn't bother him on Facebook.
They've never signed up. They've never done anything. They don't talk to me. I don't talk to them. They probably never look at my Facebook. Just forget it.
Yes.
Do the things in the outline and don't add other things. You're wasting your time. Okay.
So
Barb.
Yeah, I was thinking about Castro, but I mean that guy when I was working the outline with him, he made a Twitter account with me.
Right.
Good.
That time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is good. Now, with a guy like Angel, you have to tell him if he doesn't talk to these people on Twitter, he's not going to cure his herpes.
Yeah.
Now see, this is not in the outline, but you need to, there's a lot of things that you need to know that are not in the outline. And that's one of them. So speak to me, say something back about this.
Well, I told that guy that too. This reminds me of like when I used to do computer programming, believe it or not. It was like, if A, then this. If B, go that way. Like if the guy's not on, ask if he's on Twitter. If not on Twitter, make an account. If on Twitter, do this. But in this case, if the guy doesn't act like wants to be all private about everything, then you say what you just said, which I did tell him. I'm like, well, I'm happy to work with you now, and this is confidential, but that in the long run, you're not really going to get where you want to go without being able to, be out about this and really, and speak, freely about what you've done, especially after you cure it. And he totally got that. In fact, that got him excited. And then after that, he was getting more signals. I mean, seeing that he could be a person that would, you know, help other people or have a cure and talk about it. But that ought to be something we tell him.
That's very good. See, and then you point out to him, see, as soon as you realize that, you got more signals.
Yeah. I mean, it just created a lot of energy in him, and he saw that suppressing himself and hiding himself was
good.
damaging.
So as you're talking, and then you go on to say, you know, see, like I put things, you know what you were saying about how you're not going to get where you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, the way that you say things has an impact on people, and you're like actually trying to minimize your impact when you should be maximizing it. Because remember, the whole idea of this is to eliminate people. Like, you want to get rid of this guy before you spend another half hour with him, and then he says, oh no, I'm sorry, I don't have any money and I can't sign. I really would love to sign. You've given me so much and I'd really love to give you a donation, but I really can't, you know. So you just want to get him out of your life.
Yeah, no, I did that with a lot of people. I understand. This guy wasn't like that.
So what you say to him is, you tweet right now, or you're going to have herpes outbreaks for the rest of your life. That's what whatever you think will maximize the impact of what you're saying to him, that's what you say.
Okay.
I'm looking for when I talk to him. There are others like that, Barb, that I can give you who are actually, I sensed that he was good and then he stuck with it. He was right in the moment.
Yeah, he stuck with it. And I did tell him, which again got him to get better signals, like, because he kept saying, can I really cure this? Can I really cure this? I said, you've got to cure this, because if we don't cure this, it can go to your brain, you can die.
But you
can get a heart attack.
He was asking you, can I cure this? Or was he testing?
No, for like, he was asking me at first.
And that's what he did with me, on and on, where he had to be testing everything. Nothing's about you, about you answering questions. But anyway, there are other people I'm looking
That kind of person needs to have, be referred to me or somebody, and then they just need to focus on getting a signal.
Yeah.
Asking questions.
But I have other people who are further along in getting signals.
The answer to that question has to be that, you just, you do it, and then if you do it, yes. If you don't, no.
Sure, that's the answer. It's who gives the answer.
Everybody go to my Facebook wall. And on my Facebook wall, you'll see this thing I posted today called the 6 Human Needs.
6 Human Needs.
You see it? It's pretty much at the top, I think.
Yeah, I saw something.
By Tony Robbins, right?
Yeah, that's right. The 6 Human Needs of Tony Robbins. And I want to ask you, are your 6 needs, which of your 6 needs would you say, if any, are being fulfilled by being on the cure team? Barb, for example, does any of those pop out at you?
Contribution, forward progress, growth, I guess connection. Connection. Like today, I felt uncertain or kind of like, like I needed to be grounded somehow and alone. And then I realized, okay, well, I got my meeting at 10:30, and it was like a grounding thing for 10 o'clock. Felt like,
okay,
it fit into a couple of these now. Variety. Yeah, I guess it's kind of almost all of them.
What about certainty?
That's the one I'm low in right now.
That's what the checklist is about. This list is supposed to give you certainty. Ross, what about you? Are your needs being fulfilled by the cure team? Ross?
Yes, all of them, I think.
And Greg, what about you?
Yes.
Okay. Because I see, one thing I see, Barb, I have to say, in you, I see a lot of forward progress in the past. Like, it seemed like you just leaped forward in the past, like, few days.
Well, thanks. Well,
And I saw a lot of tweets, and they were all about the right things. You tweeted about your sessions and your interactions and your wins, and it was wonderful. Really. Just inspiring. It was wonderful to see it. And you know, Nell, I have to thank you. Really.
actually, that is Nell's result.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Nell, you know, because you, like, cared about Barb. You saw that you needed something, and Barb is great, and that she could help you, and she could give you something, and that you would be giving her something by that. And it was a real give and take. It was a very high level of interest, of interactiveness that you went to, and brought Barb. You really brought Barb up. And then she started helping other people. You know, it was wonderful. I just, my hat is off to you. You know, you're a very supportive person, Nell, I'm saying. You really, I have to say, you know, like, you have greatness. You know, I've always seen that in you. You have greatness. I know you're on mute. You got to get your sound fixed so we can talk to you, for God's sake. But anyway, so that was all right. With that, I think I want to play this thing now.
Okay.
Because it's like you got to play it at some point. If I want to play it, I better play it, right? So okay, this is from the book Good to Great. It's a very short thing. I just want everybody to listen very closely. You should probably go on mute.
Through the lens of Bill Gates. Great returns on good luck. Now we're going to move to the quadrant of getting poor returns on good luck. Squandering luck. So we just covered the first quadrant. Through the lens of Bill Gates.
Can you hear it? Can everybody hear?
Good luck. Now we're going to move to the quadrant of getting poor returns on good luck. Squandering luck. When we turn to the comparison cases, we see a substantial number of good luck events, but a generally poor overall return on luck. Some of the comparison cases got extraordinary sequences of good luck, yet showed a spectacular ability to fritter it away. In the mid-1990s, Perennial also ran AMD, experienced a series of good luck events. First, a federal jury cleared the company to essentially clone Intel microprocessors. A huge court victory that gave AMD a chance to take advantage of a rising customer tide against Intel's power. Computer makers desperately wanted an alternative source for microprocessor chips, chafing at being beholden to powerful Intel. AMD developed its K5 chip, going head-to-head with Intel's Pentium chip, and customers began to make commitments to AMD. Then, with AMD building momentum, clocking sales records, and lessening Intel's power, came a huge stroke of good luck for AMD. IBM halted shipments of computers that used Intel's Pentium chip due to a highly publicized glitch that caused a rounding error in certain rare calculations. Intel eventually announced a $475 million charge against earnings to replace Pentium chips for its customers. And all this happened just as the technology boom fueled huge growth in chip demand. And what did AMD do with all this good luck? Quote, AMD developed a rip in its mainsail, and we didn't catch the wind, unquote, wrote Sanders in his 1995 annual report. Then continuing, the rip in our mainsail was our tardiness in bringing to market our 5th generation AMD K5 microprocessor. The K5 project slipped months behind schedule, and customers began to turn back to Intel, driving AMD's microprocessor sales down 60%. By the time AMD solved its K5 problems, Intel had moved on to the next generation of microprocessors. AMD appeared to be out of the race again. But then, against all reasonable odds, AMD got another 2 lucky breaks. First, a small company named NextGen had developed a working clone of Intel's next generation microprocessor, and lucky for AMD, NextGen had run short of cash, forcing it to seek a friendly buyer. AMD purchased NextGen and in one step put itself back in the game. In fact, the resulting AMD K6 appeared to be faster and cheaper than Intel's Pentium Pro when running Windows. Second, the entire industry took a sharp turn that favored AMD. Sub $1,000 personal computers had become the fastest growing part of the market, and AMD's K6 chips were well suited to this shift. Here again, AMD had a perfect scenario. Customers wanted to lessen Intel's power. The market shift toward cheaper computers gave AMD an edge, and the K6 was an ideal product at exactly the right moment in the midst of one of the greatest technology booms in history. And then AMD failed to execute brilliantly. Unable to make enough chips to meet demand. Customers rooted for AMD. They really wanted a viable alternative to Intel. But they couldn't reliably get enough of the K6 due to AMD's manufacturing problems. And they began to turn back to Intel. Despite an extraordinary run of good luck at the best possible moment, AMD's stock fell more than 70% behind the general stock market from the start of 1995 through the end of 2002. The AMD story illustrates.
Alrighty. Now, Barb, can you see some parallels? First of all, what constitutes our good luck? Like when you think about us being, fortunate, what's our fortune? Barb, you're on mute because you have to come off mute if you want to talk.
Oh, I was thinking about myself personally. I've had a lot of those examples painfully. But as a group, let's see.
All learned occupation.
I think sometimes if maybe a really talented person comes on our team, doesn't follow through, or comes to one of us, or we may have an opportunity like that interaction we had.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
You're looking in the wrong place.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll tell you why, because I think that what I'm finding in us is we have a major dysfunction, and I'm saying we, but see, it's not a group thing. It's actually that as individuals, we have trouble eliminating people, and we get stuck with people. And I see Greg doing it. I see you doing it. Like this thing with this woman that you were seeing, Greg. I think that one thing that was going on there was that you simply were not willing to put her to the series of tests that people must be put to. And for another thing, somebody was saying, well, maybe one of our big good luck events is somebody gets a partner, they get a significant other. Barb, let me go to you for a minute. Can you imagine yourself? Oh, I'll just give you a little information, all right? You know how we always talk about how Greg manages our money?
Yes.
Well, actually, our money management is like everything else we do, a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, Franny does a lot of it with Greg. Franny and Greg have very long conversations about what to buy and how to manage the actual paying for it, you know, how to do the paying for it. And, you know, they're both major coupon clippers and all this other stuff. And I think it would be very different without Franny. Franny is like a real team player on money. You know, well, I'm not. You know, what I try to do is I try to get everything that I do at a bargain price, and I don't do that much, so they don't have to worry about too much about me. You know, I buy food or whatever, but, you know, if I need a computer, I go to them. They pick it out. They decide what I need. They design it. They do all that stuff. I don't, like, go over and say, oh, I want this computer. You know, I like this one. You know, I've never done that, and I never will, you know. I don't want to try to, you know, increase my core competencies. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm competent about enough things, and I don't need more competence. What I need to do is work the things I'm competent at. You know? So that's the way I play on a team, is like I'm a goalie, okay, or I'm a catcher, and that's what I do. I'm not going to try to be, you know, a second baseman. Like, I don't want to change my position on the team. So, okay, so imagine yourself, Barb. Let's say that you get this person who you run the outline with, and she passes with flying colors and jumps onto the Cure team afterwards and is at your house every day organizing you. And she says, I'm in this with you. I'm doing this. And so far, so good. Like, she's a devout worshiper at the altar of Immunix. Somebody who really has, like, she's in the cult, okay? She knows this is going to change the world. She knows it's the cure for cancer. She got it. She's a rarity. This person is rare. And she doesn't have, her husband isn't going to, you know, tell her he's leaving her. She's not married. You know, she's a lesbian, and, like, you know, she hasn't got a girlfriend right now, and she's, you know, she just is like, she throws herself into this because this is real to her. Like, this, she sees that's the most important thing she could ever do. Okay. And so, you know, you got this great person, so you decide that you want to make her your significant other, and you start having sex with her. Like, just imagine that you do this, okay? And this goes on for, you know, a month or 2 months or something, or whatever, however long it goes on for you. And then you start to push her away. And, you know, you get, like, you start getting frazzled and, like, this is too much. Like she's here, she's invading my space. Like, I need to be alone more. And, like, and you start to just go crazy. And so the woman backs off. You know, she, likes, you know, like, looks for some other way to participate with the cure drive than supporting you. See, that is an example of destroying an enormously colossal good piece of luck. Get the idea?
Yeah.
That's how you mess it up. You know? Or, as there was a shrink that I once knew who said that it's not the analyst fucking the patient that's the problem. It's when the analyst stops. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, see, it would be better for all of us if, instead of looking for a significant other, what we looked for and what we tested people for was how great they are as far as really, you know, not just passing through the outline for getting into the thing, but how much they get and how powerfully they really relate to it. Because, you know, you're gonna you're gonna have a lot of people who just say, I love Immunix, it's wonderful, you know, it's so great. Let's have lunch. We'll do some testing, you know, and that's it. Like, they're not interested in it. Like, they don't relate to tipping it into global consciousness or coming to these meetings and pounding away like we're doing, or you know, or getting people into it, or running the ad. They don't want to do that. They're just like they're flibbertigibbets, you know.
Exactly what that woman did.
Which woman?
The woman, her name was Barbara Kesterland, and she was testing, and she was starting to feel better. She goes, "Let's go to the 10,000 ways." I say.
What is this? The one that signed up the other day?
I had the session with the other day. I would have gone actually, but you know, we could have continued up there. But
is this the woman who signed up?
Yeah, she just signed up.
Right.
She was.
So she signed up, but then she didn't want to like.
It wasn't like she was trying. No, she signed up, and then she kept working, and she was good. She even worked on me. We sort of switched a bit because she is a trained professional therapist, and
you know what? It's not necessarily bad that she wanted to go to the waves.
Yeah, I know. It actually felt right. I would have gone, but I had something I had to do.
Well, it's actually not necessarily bad that you didn't go. So now she can pass the next test. She signed up, she did everything. Now let's see what she does with it without you holding her hand.
Yeah, I know. She might not do anything, we'll see.
Yeah. Like, let's see what happens without you being there all the time. What we're looking for, we get people through this, but then you call her in a couple of days. How's it, you know, what have you been doing? I haven't seen you on Twitter. And see, what you want is, I remember like Christiana called me a couple of days after she had signed up, and I got her on Twitter in the call while I was driving.
Nice.
And I had hit traffic on the expressway, got off the expressway and went on a back street. And I'm on this very crowded back street because all these people got off the expressway like me, and it was like it was a zoo, you know, in Florida where drivers are crazy. And I'm talking to her, getting her on Twitter on the phone while I'm in the car, you know, and that's what you can do on a smartphone. But she got in it, and then she started tweeting, and then every few days we've kept hearing from her, and so here's a person who is curing this thing, and that's. You know, let me put it this way. What you really want from people doesn't have to be a whole lot more than that. Everybody isn't right for the cure team. Don't try to change anybody. And you know, when you're saying like, well, we got this wonderful person and we could have done more with them, don't do more with people. You're wasting your time. Do the outline with another person.
Yeah.
Find somebody else. This is what Keely told me.
Or, you know, with the
doing
same person, you ask them for another thing. If they're not on Twitter, if you get them on Twitter, or something that moves them along.
Once you've completed the outline with somebody, then you watch and see what they do. And every so often you can call them and see if you can get them to send a tweet or two or something. But after a while you may see that, you know, the person is just, you know, that's where they are. They're not going to really do much with it. Or you may do one of those calls and suddenly the person's with you. It's possible. You know, you cure something in one of the calls and the person has this breakthrough and, you know, boom, they're like, they fly forward. It's possible. But you don't have to invest a lot of time in that. Get another person. By the way, Barb, that means probably posting on YouTube movies.
You have to do that more?
Well, I have. You know, if you look at my post, which I believe I actually did, I think I might have tweeted one, or I should have anyway, I don't think, you know. I did a post and I didn't tweet it. I wanted to show you what I post, because my post is the closest to you. You could actually virtually take my thing verbatim. Or Greg has a good one. Now no, you should probably look at mine.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, so that being said, I think that we have a serious problem. That we all do this. Like, we hold on to people. And you're never going to get to Warren Buffett that way. Which is where you want to go. And if you're like holding on to this dud, you're not going to be sitting in front of Warren Buffett.
Yep. Clear.
You know, by the way, if you want to think about like having a relationship, do you have any awareness of what Franny and Greg went through like in the past week or two?
I know they were going through something, and I've been there, but I didn't have anybody else to coach me through it. I realized if I would have had the reason my relationship with Virginia lasted so long is I had other people there to coach me, and
right.
So I can imagine what they've gone through, but no, I don't know the details.
Well, at some point, Franny said to Greg, you're going to destroy all of our lives.
Yeah, I saw that, and actually I was thinking I want a relationship like theirs. I would like to have somebody that, when you hit a hard place, we work through it.
See, okay, the thing is, do you think that you could go through what Franny went through and stick with somebody?
Yeah, if I liked him, if it was the right person, totally.
Because a lot of people can't.
Yeah.
You know, like a guy does what Greg did and his wife says, fuck you, you know, you'll hear from my lawyer. Get out. Pack your bag. Get out of here. I don't want you in the house.
Are you still doing it, Greg?
No.
That's what they do, you know. They don't stick with the person. And see, that was good, Franny, that you asked, because you're still sticking with him.
I wish I need people to stick with me too.
Well, let's talk about Chrissy for a minute, and I don't mean anybody else should talk about Chrissy but me. But the thing is, like what I was talking with Barb about the other day about how Chrissy stole from you? Like when I was helping Ross, when I was helping you with, when Roberto was dying, and I realized that what you had to deal with Roberto dying was easier to deal with than me watching Chrissy destroy herself. And that's what she did. She didn't die physically. She died in a far worse way because she stole from Barb and she stole from Franny. Chrissy really destroyed herself in this lifetime. And she didn't want to do it. She did it because of, she was just dysfunctional. I don't think she ever wanted to rob anybody or hurt anybody or betray anybody.
She stole from Greg and you and everybody. I mean,
now, Franny, I've said don't say anything. Just don't talk. Okay?
Yeah.
Because there's just a point that I want to make with this, which is oh dear, I'm sorry.
Well, how she destroyed herself and didn't you say about that?
Well,
and it hurt you that she was destroying herself, perhaps because you were loving like Franny has been.
Chrissy was the first person we ever eliminated with our new approach. That's basically what happened. It's like we ran the outline with her and she didn't pass. She just she couldn't cut the mustard. She couldn't handle it. And very recently, Barb, not more than just a few months ago, you were telling me that Chrissy said to you, people don't cure things. Remember that?
Yeah, she said, you don't cure people. She said that. She said, you can't cure anyone.
Or whatever it was that she said. She simply did not understand it.
Yeah.
And we really did have to let her fall away, but it was, talk about holding on to somebody. Like I was dying when she was gone. Like I was just like holding on to her like I could not let go of her. And I kept linking my higher bodies with her. And gradually I let go of her. And I'm going to tell you that when you're running this outline with somebody, I make it sound so casual. But the thing is, you may really have to link your higher body with the person as you say to the person, look, why don't you just watch a bunch of movies and get back to me?
Yeah.
You know? And then after you hang up with them, you got to check yourself, and you have to link your higher bodies with them again, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's like, oh, good, now I feel free now, you know? But you may say, gee, oh, God, it's too bad. I really felt for that guy. Well, link your higher bodies with him. You got hooked. I mean, I spent 14 years with Chrissy.
It's like Celeste.
And she gave me so much. She really did give me a ton. You know, she was a wonderful person to be with. And watching her do that was ripping. It was soul ripping to watch her do that. And you know, these people who are calling you, like somebody calls you from something you say on YouTube, and you think, oh, this is just a total stranger. They're not. You've been with these people for eons. You've spent like 1,000 lifetimes with this person. He was your brother. He was your mother. Like you vowed, and you were holding his dying hand, and you vowed to avenge his death, and then you got killed and couldn't do it. And all this, it all happened.
Right.
You know? So now here he is asking you to help him cure his herpes, and you got to say, hey, go watch a bunch of movies. You're not getting a signal, you know? And it just can be very soul-ripping.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask everybody a question, and I just basically, let me ask a couple of people, okay? Ross, I want to ask you, why is Keely not on the cure team?
You're asking me?
Yeah, what do you channel, what do you see, sense, or feel? Why is Keely not on the cure team?
To be totally honest, it's something I've been asking myself for a while. Because when I used to listen to the audios, I thought Keely was extremely good.
Well, just answer the question without giving me a whole long speech, okay? Why is Keely not on the cure team? You want a minute? You want me to ask somebody else?
No, it's okay, it's okay. I don't know, I simply don't know. I guess
why don't you
wasn't right for the cure team.
Why don't you take a minute and see if you can see it while other people answer the question. Barb, why is Keely not on the cure team?
I think she thinks it will bring her down, that she thinks it's not a good way to spend her time.
So you think I want her on the cure team, but she doesn't want to be on the cure team?
I just think she thinks it's not her. I don't know about you.
Well, your answer implies that if Keely called me tomorrow and said, I want to be on the cure team.
I didn't think the option of that you didn't want her on there or you didn't ask her to be on there. I didn't think about that, no.
Okay, but actually, you know.
And I haven't asked her, so that's an interesting point. I haven't called up and said, hey, I really miss you. And
why is Keely not on the cure team, and why didn't you ask her to be on the cure team?
It's a good point. I think, I don't know, I guess from my experience with her, she doesn't seem like, I don't know, that's a good question. She doesn't seem like patient or interested in being on a team. She likes to be a solo.
To me, she's not,
she would
never
be impatient.
person.
Yeah, she would be impatient. You know how she would get to the meeting, she gets kind of impatient and dominating and then not in argumentative. Like she doesn't like to move as a team from my experience. She likes to be.
That's very interesting. Okay. That's an interesting answer. Okay, Greg, what about you?
To me, she just is not willing to confront. She's never told the truth about her relationship with the Geeter. She's afraid to lose what she has if she were really true. If she were really true to herself and true to us, in relationship with us. That, because Jerry has his ways and she has to be with Jerry.
Okay.
So she won't, just, there's things, lines she will not cross.
Okay.
She'll play the game and you know.
Lines she will not cross. Okay.
Got it.
What about Ross? Do you have any ideas now?
Well, now I would say that she doesn't really want to be, she doesn't want to be in the cure team. She
Okay.
made different choices.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Franny. Franny has an idea. Go ahead, Franny.
Well, one of the things that Keely did was she picked underdogs and spent a tremendous amount of time with them, which didn't really go anywhere, except for a few instances.
Franny, thank you, because that's the answer to the question.
Yeah.
She was unsuccessful
It's
in the past. That's a
funny.
good point.
You know, Franny always knows the right answer to every question I ask. And I'm like, and you know, I'll tell you something. Sometimes I actually go out of my way to ask Franny a question because I know that she will not volunteer information unless she is asked a question. So if I don't
Well,
know,
I just did.
thank you, but I asked a question. See, and I know if I don't,
all right.
if I need something, unless I ask her, I'm not going to get it. So I got to ask. So that means I have to frame the question, and a lot of times I can't frame the question, so I don't get my information. So Franny, I think you need to be volunteering the more information.
Okay, I'll try. I shouldn't say that. We're not supposed to say I try.
You know,
Anyway.
I always see that because she's doing that, doing the Yahoo group where she doesn't. She spends wastes so much time with people, and she doesn't even ask them.
Well, this is good enough.
Yeah, but
Thank you. It's good. It's good enough. Thank you. So what I want to say is, see, we all have this problem. In Keely's case, it didn't seem to me like she was willing to handle it. I think that was the deal breaker. I don't know about any of the other stuff people have said. She might be able to be on the cure team and work through all those things, but if she can't eliminate people, if you can't eliminate people, you can't be on the cure team, because that's what the cure team is about. What we do, like, we're trying to find an ally. Now see here, let's take Barb as an example. Barb, let's say that you decide that you're going to make lots of money doing this, okay? You've decided, now this is it. And you start to realize, gee, this outline's a good thing. You know, I can walk up to somebody and like be with them like for half an hour, and I get like I get 80%, you know, because it's somebody I meet in the streets, my own person, or it's on somebody I put up a notice on YouTube, and you know, so I get like 80% of $159, you know, from this person I just did, and if I do that every day, you know, I'll have like $4,000 a month, and you start doing that, and sure enough, like all of a sudden you have this mob of people in Santa Fe who like will shout Chrissy down in a hot second if she tries to say anything, because they're all curing things. So she isn't going to fucking tell them they can't cure anything, you know. They'll say, what are you, crazy? You know, you must not be a very good reader if you can't see that I can cure things, because I'm doing it right in front of you, you know. So now you got all these people, and it's all going and going and going, and you've taken in like, you know, $20,000-$30,000. You put a down payment on a house, you know. You got yourself, you're paying off your mortgage. You bought yourself another car. You know, you got an SUV, which is what you needed, and so on. And you're like rolling along, and at the same time, none of these people are ally material, but some of them are supporter material, and they're, you know, your supporters. They come over, they clean your space, and they cook lunch, and they, you know, they run the thing, and they, you know, and they talk to people and so on, and bring people in, and you know, we've worked out, you know, what you get on that, or you have, and so on, and it's all working out, you know. It's great. And so you got supporters, and you got this and that, and then, like, but see, the point is that you can tell that these people are not allies. We don't try to make them into an ally. Like, you know how people have always said that I try to get people to do more than they're capable of. And the whole idea of this, what I'm trying to do here, is I'm trying to handle this problem in myself, partially. so that I don't try to get people to do more than they're capable of, but I also don't hang out with people who are capable of nothing. So that the people that we do work with, they do give something. They sign up for the web college, they donate monthly, they come to your house and they assist you, Barb, or whatever. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. So they do something, you know, and they're worth something, and they know it, and they feel good about themselves, so they get something out of that. So it's an exchange, it's a flow, it's weird, you know, they're taking and they're giving.
Yes.
You notice when Anna left, the last thing she wrote, and she said, "I'm fine, don't worry about me." Remember that?
Wow.
Everybody remember that?
Yeah.
I do.
What did you get out of that?
I got fuck you, goodbye.
Yeah, except I didn't get "fuck you, goodbye." What I got is that... What, Barb?
I got that she's not that fine, and she, you know.
Well, yeah, me too. But what I actually got is that Anna, in her mind, she thought she was supposed to be taking only. Her idea about herself was that she was absolutely worthless, that she had nothing to give. What she was doing was all taking, and she just wanted to reassure us that she had taken what we wanted to give her. She didn't want to hurt our feelings that she hadn't taken it. She took it. She was fine now. We gave her something, and that was what we wanted. That's what she believed we wanted. So we have got to reach people in that they are to give us something. They're supposed, Barb, they're supposed to give this woman, whatever her name is, she's supposed to give you something. Mm-hmm. Which she started when she was, you know, doing some immunics with you, right? She felt like she was giving you something there. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay? So now, what I'm trying to say here is that every Superman has to be Clark Kent sometimes. You with me?
Yeah.
So we're all Supermen, but we also have to be Clark Kent. You got to make a living. Everybody with me on this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And the nice thing about us is that we can be Superman and Clark simultaneously. Because when we're making a living, we're also giving them something that's, like, incredible. It's very, very important. Now, we are going to go till 1:15, and I do have another clip to play for you, which I'm going to play right now. Okay, you guys with me still? Here's the clip.
Yep.
Have a definition of professionalism, a code of conduct. All learned occupations have a definition of professionalism, a code of conduct. It is where they spell out their ideals and duties. The codes are sometimes stated, sometimes just understood, but they all have at least 3 common elements. First is an expectation of selflessness, that we who accept responsibility for others, whether we are doctors, lawyers, teachers, public authorities, soldiers, or pilots, will place the needs and concerns of those who depend on us above our own. Second is an expectation of skill, that we will aim for excellence in our knowledge and expertise. Third is an expectation of trustworthiness, that we will be responsible in our personal behavior toward our charges. Aviators, however, add a 4th expectation: discipline. Discipline in following prudent procedure and in functioning with others. This is a concept almost entirely outside the lexicon of most professions, including my own. In medicine, we hold up autonomy as a professional lodestar, a principle that stands in direct opposition to discipline. But in a world in which success now requires large enterprises, teams of clinicians, high-risk technologies, and knowledge that outstrips any one person's abilities, individual autonomy hardly seems the ideal we should aim for. It has the ring more of protectionism than of excellence. The closest our professional codes come to articulating the goal is an occasional plea for collegiality. What is needed, however, isn't just that people working together be nice to each other. It is discipline. Discipline is hard, harder than trustworthiness and skill, and perhaps even than selflessness. We are by nature flawed and inconstant creatures. We can't even keep from snacking between meals. We are not built for discipline. We are built for novelty and excitement, not for careful attention to detail. Discipline is something we have to work at. That's perhaps why aviation has required institutions to make discipline a norm. The pre-flight checklist began as an invention of a handful of Army pilots in the 1930s, but the power of their discovery gave birth to entire organizations. In the United States, we now have the National Transportation Safety Board to study accidents, to independently determine the underlying causes and recommend how to remedy them. And we have national regulations to ensure that those recommendations are incorporated into usable checklists and reliably adopted in ways that actually reduce harm. To be sure, checklists must not become ossified mandates that hinder rather than help. Even the simplest requires frequent revisitation and ongoing refinement. Airline manufacturers put a publication date on all their checklists, and there is a reason why. They are expected to change with time. In the end, a checklist is only an aid. If it doesn't aid, it's not right. But if it does, we must be ready to embrace the possibility. We have most readily turned to the computer as our aid. Computers hold out the prospect of automation as our bulwark against. Sullenberger focused on the glide down to the water, but he...
Okay, that's from the Checklist Manifesto. Now,
Gawande, Indian doctor from Harvard.
Yep, what did
Atul Gawande. Gawande.
Okay, now what did you make of that, what you just heard? Barb, let me start with you.
Not much. That one kind of went over my head. Checklist. Well, it's about about professionalism and taking it. Like I realized, okay, if I took this more seriously, even just like I have the last week, treated my life and this as a business and was very precise and saw my my job as contained in my outline, and doesn't mean I can't improve upon the outline or change it, but I actually ran the program and was able to let go of people fast so I could keep moving. It's better for the people and it's better for me. It's more responsible to everyone, to the team, to the effort, to the people who are already involved, and even to the people I'm talking to. Like, I'll give you a story. Like the other day when I was working with Kestrel, we were sitting on the porch of my friend's house, and there was a rental unit to the side of me, and I met the woman that was in the rental, a young woman, also a potential client. In fact, she asked me if I would do a session with her. She has her own problems. She's young, and so I'm working with her, and suddenly I hear this commotion next door, and she's like upset about something, and she's like either talking on the phone or talking to herself and kind of banging around and looking for something and upset. And, I went over and I kind of knocked on the door and said, can you hold it down? Thank you, all that. And I was saying to Kestrel, you see, this, there's just a lot of work to be done. I could, right when I'm done with you right now, I could walk in the back and knock on the door and say, hey, how are you? And I could spend another 2 hours with this woman. But I'm not going to. And I'm not going to, because that's what I used to do. And that's why.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
And it was hard. It was hard for me to get my things together and leave without going and doing something. I realized I had to she'll be all right. I'll get to her later. That's the way I was thinking. I was thinking about that word triage. You have to
right.
To,
remember, Barb. Remember a few weeks ago you were complaining because you were saying this is like being in the intensive all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that was always our ideal, if you remember.
Yeah, actually, that's what I wanted.
Back then, we wanted to have the intensive all the time. And the truth is, you now are in the intensive all the time. That's what it's come to.
Right.
And we used to make 225, there was an intensive where we took in $225,000 in 8 days in the intensive.
I remember.
So that's what it can be.
Yeah.
Because see, at the end of the line, when you have this big mob of people, and they're you have 18 assistants at your house from 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night every day, 7 days a week, and they make lunch, they make dinner. You go out with people, and they're there doing the thing. You own a home, you have a 5-bedroom home, you have 3 assistants who live with you. They're up at 7 cleaning and getting things organized for you and so on. And all of this happens, but you still know they're not your ally. And then one day, Warren Buffett walks into your house with a friend of his who is one of your guys, and he sits down on your couch, and you don't say, "Oh, I don't need him. I have all these other people. One of these people will be my ally." You will know that you need to go over and inquire whether he's the ally you've been looking for.
We've been waiting for him, yeah.
You see? Because you will have eliminated, each person will be in their place. You'll understand who people are.
I hear you. God, I'm just starting to get the value of saying this is a cult right away, because there are people out there who love cults and are looking for cults. I was thinking about that Lisa McAdam and Gusta G, and a lot of people are like Karen. People love, if they understand what that means, and they would like to, and they've been involved with things.
We never ran the outline with Gusta G. That's right.
So we did.
And it's Gustagi, by the way. It's not.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. One thing is
anyway,
that
I heard you.
I'm noticing that I'm writing tweets to you guys, and you're not seeing them.
I see them.
Well, maybe
Some of them you write them fresh, and you don't respond to the existing one though, and so it doesn't always make sense. I think you write a new one rather than
No, I
replying.
respond to the tweets always.
Really, because some of them, if you expand it doesn't say what you're responding to, so it means that
I always respond.
Okay.
I want you to know that if you don't check Twitter 3 times a day, you're going to miss something.
Okay.
You got to read through to the point where you stopped 3 times a day. And Greg, I got to say to you, like, we're sending you text messages and you're not seeing them. You got to stay in communication with us.
I see all text messages. It may be some other SMS message that you send me that I don't see.
You need to.
I see all text messages, but I have to respond, say got it or great or whatever.
Yeah, you got to say got it, and you simply just stop and look at your smartphone, Craig. Just when you're
yes,
walking.
I will.
Okay,
I do.
okay.
I will.
All right.
I've not been tweeting much, but I will have to do that. I got your message about tweeting,
then
I responded to it.
And then answer people's tweets. Just say great, and just be there.
Precisely what I just said. Did you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, actually, I didn't hear that, but anyway, I heard it now, so it's good enough.
Okay. And I also tweeted it.
Oh, good, okay. Another thing I wanted to just say to Ross before we end our meeting is, Ross, I have discovered that you are someone who I can use as a leader.
How?
Because when I give you things to do, you do them.
Oh, yes.
And so you can be an example to other people.
Okay.
Like when a new person comes in and they look around, they will see, if nobody else, you tweeting. And so you're an example of like somebody.
You are a leader. That's true.
You are a leader. I just want you to know that. And
thank you for telling me. I didn't know. I really.
It's good that you're in a different time zone. Mm-hmm. It's good.
And
that you're in a different time zone is good too, because it doesn't always come.
That's
sometimes
right.
There's a dead space, so you pick up the slack.
That's very true. And I wanted to say to like to Greg that I want to use you as a leader, and also that people who come in here, like when they look around, they deserve leaders. They, you know, they've earned that just by, you know, just by trying, just by inquiring. They have earned somebody being there to be their leader.
Yep.
So, with that, I thank you all for a wonderful Pure Team meeting.
And you. It was lovely, as usual.
Yeah, but really learning and also acknowledging what we have learned and our progress. And I think we've been able to see our progress in this meeting. You're in my heart. All of you are in my. You're in my heart.
Thank you.
So, what shall we do for our closing immunic action? Who has us? Who has
We
it?
didn't start with
Please.
our
Ability to kick some ass.
We forgot to start with linking
Let's
bodies.
link
So
bodies.
So let's link our bodies. Link into our results bodies.
Lincoln.
Lincoln and a stinking and
And you know, our next one is going to be on the entrance points on Tuesday at 12. Let's make everything is going to be a quarter after the hour now. The Cure meeting Monday night is going to be a quarter after, and this is a quarter after. This worked out very well for me. And also, our topic on Tuesday will be a quarter after.
Okay.
Quarter after 12 on Tuesday. And it's going to be on the entrance points, which I tweeted.
Misplaced my phone, but I had it this morning.
What, Greg?
wasn't me.
Oh, that was this guy here.
Oh, okay. Good. Well,
I shot him.
bodies linked and connected.
144th dimension.
I'm on the 144th
Making
dimension.
good choices, happy. Attracting an ally. Having an ally attract us.
Left it in the back.
There you go.
Thank you.
Done.
Alrighty.